Hi there, I'm Vincent Boss and I provide dating and self-improvement advice. And in today's podcast, we're going to be discussing the ethics of dating multiple people. I provide audio coaching for breakup recovery, trying to get an ex back, attracting someone new, and life coaching. Visit www.dateme.tips for more details. Please check your spam and junk folders if you are expecting an email from me. So now let's get back into today's podcast. And today we are discussing the ethics of dating multiple people. So if you're dating, is it ever okay to date more than one person at once? In today's podcast, I'll be discussing 3 points to consider regarding the ethics of dating multiple people. So let's get straight into this, and point number 1 is circumstances. I believe that circumstances play a huge role when we consider the ethics of dating multiple people. So let's just look at 2 examples and why circumstances really separate these, especially in my perspective. Let me know in the YouTube comments what you think, whether you agree, whether you disagree. So let's just suggest that option 1 is you have met somebody at a party. It's a party of close friends, and one of their relatives, for instance, has also come along to this party, and you get to know each other and you start texting and you start dating. Now, at this point, is it ethical to date a second person? Is it ethical to be dating other people whilst you're messaging and dating this person that you met at a party, and who is somebody who is a relative of one of your friends who was at this party? I would suggest this is not ethical. I would suggest this is not a great position for you to put yourself in, because you have met somebody in a setting where you already have a connection. The connection is one of your friends. You have a friend of a friend, you could say. It's very relative, it's your friend, there is a connection. You've got to know each other through this party. Okay, it's just a party, but you've got to know each other in a way where it's one-on-one and you are speaking physically. You're getting to know somebody in a way where they're in person with you. And then from that point, you've agreed and decided to go on some dates together. I would suggest at this stage, you need to be focusing on this person. Now, maybe you disagree, and again, let me know in YouTube comments, but I would suggest in this situation, when you have this connection with one of your friends and you met at a party where you know other people, I would suggest that this is unethical to date other people. And this is mainly because since you know some common people, you've got some common connections here, I would say that this has a subconscious connection where there is that level of trust. You have a friend, you trust your friend, they are a relative of your friend, they trust your friend. There is that level of trust which is already there. There is that level of connection. There is that level of, I'm going to treat you right because you are connected to my friend, and vice versa. Now, whether or not you think this is treating somebody right or not, again, let me know in YouTube comments. Maybe you think that unless you've been dating for a much longer period, then there is no reason why you can't date others. Again, let me know. Now, let's just talk about option B here. Option B is that you are online dating. You've signed up to multiple platforms, you've started messaging multiple people, and after a few days of talking, 2 or 3 different people want to arrange dates with you. Now, in my opinion, this is ethical. In my opinion, there is no problem in meeting different people via online dating. I believe that the vast majority of people online dating understand that this is the way it is. This is how it is. You go online dating, you're trying to find a good connection. You're trying to find your best possible partner. You, just as them, are going to be speaking with multiple people. It's very rare indeed to find somebody online dating who will only message one person at a time. It's almost just accepted because that is why you're there. Now, in option 1, option A, you are at a party, you were not theoretically looking for a date, and this actually just happened because you felt a connection. This was a more natural way of doing things. It felt like it was a natural, genuine connection. Online dating, you haven't even met yet. Whereas in option A, you saw each other physically. Option B, you haven't seen each other physically. So how can you be serious with somebody until you spend some quality time together? That is one of the main reasons why I believe that this is ethical, to date multiple people if you're online dating. Also, you're unlikely to have friends of friends. You're unlikely to have this connection where you have this trust, where you can ask second opinions. You won't know this new person until you really truly get to know them. Whereas in option A, the first description I was given at the party, you could speak with your friend. You could speak with people who already know this person and they can give you a good idea of what they're like. Instead, if you're online dating, you need to get to know people. So I think there is nothing wrong with meeting people, online dating, various people, multiple people, dating people until you've met somebody numerous times, and at which at that point you might want to start concentrating and being a little bit more specific, and maybe even stop using the platform. I'm not saying leave a platform instantly, but maybe you stop using it once you've dated somebody multiple times. At that point, maybe you want to be focusing on one person rather than various people. So now let's get into point number 2 and the second point of today's podcast about the ethics of dating multiple people. And point number 2 is honesty is important. Now, I'm a big believer in honesty within relationships and life in general. Honesty, most of the time, is certainly the best policy. So, what do I mean by this regarding dating multiple people? Well, if you're online dating and somebody asks you, are you on here looking for something serious? If you think to yourself, well, I'm not here for something serious, I would suggest that you're honest. Don't lead somebody on. Don't say to them, yeah, I'm looking for something serious, when you know you're not. When you know you are looking to date as many different people as you can, don't tell somebody that you're only dating them. Now, if you don't know how to go about this kind of thing when you're online dating in particular, if you don't feel ready to commit to somebody straight away, I would suggest that you say to them, look, I'm not quite sure what I'm looking for. I'm taking things slow. I don't want to get in too deep with anybody right now. And therefore, I just want to go with the flow. If you let somebody know how you're feeling and give them the right vibe, then they can make an informed decision if they want to connect with you, if they want to see you. That is their choice. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that you have to say to them, well, I'm meeting somebody on Wednesday and then Saturday and then next Tuesday, but I can fit you in after that. I'm not saying be painfully honest, but be honest in the fact that if you want to date multiple people, don't tell them that you are looking for something serious right now. Now, maybe you're thinking, well, I am looking for something serious, but I just want to date other people first to find the right person. Again, if you want to speak about it in that regard, then just say that you're online dating and like them, you're going to be responding to other messages. I think that is a great way of putting it out there because it takes the pressure off. It doesn't suggest that you are going to be messaging lots and lots of people yourself, but you're basically saying if somebody messages me, I'm going to reply. Until I'm serious with somebody, I'm definitely going to be open to conversations. That can sometimes be a way of just alleviating the pressure. If somebody tries to put you on the spot and say, hey, are you contacting lots of other people? You can say, well, I'm trying to concentrate on the conversations I'm having right now, but if somebody messages me, I'm going to respond, I'm going to respond. You could even say, depending on the platform you're on, I've paid a lot of money for this, I'm going to get to know different people. I suggest that you have that layer of honesty, and they should be understanding of that. They are likely in the same position. The main fact I would say, though, is don't lead people on. Don't tell somebody that you are only dating them if you're dating 10 other people. Don't tell somebody that you are looking for marriage if you are not looking for anything serious. If you want something serious but you want to find the right option, just say to somebody that you're getting to know different people, and when you find the right connection, you're sure that it will become clear. And this will show them that if and when you are starting to vibe really well, that things will naturally progress. So now let's get into point number 3 and the final point of today's podcast about the ethics of dating multiple people. And point number 3 is distance is key. So if you decide that you want to date multiple people, whether this is on the basis of what I've just described, or whether it is your own concept and what you believe is right and ethical, because look, it's not down to me, it's down to you to make your own moral decisions. What I would say is that distance is key. Now, ordinarily, I would say to people, you want to date locally. dating locally gives you that opportunity to connect with somebody and move forward much easier than a long-distance relationship. Long-distance relationships very rarely last the test of time. They need eventually a closing of space. However, if you want to date multiple people, then distance is key, because you don't want to be dating multiple people from the same small area. That can cause a lot of confusion, a lot of embarrassment, and a lot of situations that you don't want to be getting involved in. Nobody needs drama. So, what do I mean exactly? Well, if you date multiple people within the same town, especially if you aren't convinced that they actually understand what you're trying to do with your life right now, if you think, well, I'm not sure if they actually realise that I believe I'm single right now, if you don't feel that they would appreciate you dating multiple people, then you certainly need to be careful if you're dating multiple people in your same town. Because not only could you all bump into one another, but you could have friends of friends. You're more likely to have more connections. Dating person A, you might not realise, but they actually know person B. That could be very embarrassing, confusing, and dramatic. So if you want to date multiple people, I would suggest that you make sure you're dating different people in different areas. That doesn't necessarily mean we have to be really far-flung, but then again, maybe that is an option you want to go with, especially if there are certain areas of a country, or maybe even abroad in different countries, that you go to so often. Maybe this is regarding work, maybe this is regarding regular vacations and holidays, maybe this is regarding things that you just have to do and go and visit people. Okay, this is an opportunity to date different people in different areas where there is less chance of people bumping into each other or knowing each other. Now, I need to say my point on this. I do not believe this is ethical if the other person is not okay with it. Now, some people are okay with open relationships. You might meet somebody who is absolutely fine with you dating other people because they are dating other people as well. Maybe one or both of you are fresh out of a breakup. You're not ready for anything serious. You're both happy with the situation. Even if you're both happy with it, you're probably still not going to want to bump into each other. So that is why I'm suggesting that distance is key. A little bit of distance can be very helpful. This doesn't just mean if you're trying to do this in a sly and secretive way. I do not believe that's ethical. I'm suggesting that even if both people are very happy for you each to date other people, you still might need some distance. Because even if you're fine with it, you don't want it rubbed in your face. You don't want to bump into people. You don't want to hear friends of friends or family members say, well, look, I know this other person, that the person you're dating is also dating. You just don't need that. So, just to reiterate, I personally do not think it's ethical to cheat on somebody. I don't think it's ethical to lead somebody on. I don't think it's ethical to date various people when you're pretty certain one or all of your partners believe that you are just being with them, that you are being authentic to them, that you are not mixing with anybody else. I don't believe that's ethical if you're behaving in that way. However, you might think that's fine, and that is up to you. Everybody has their own moral code, their own moral compass. It's not up for me to decide what is right and what is wrong. Let me know in YouTube comments what you believe is the right way. Maybe you think there's a time situation. Maybe you think that you can date multiple people until you've been dating somebody for a month, 3 months, 6 months, until you're married. You know, different people have different perspectives. Let me know what you think. But like I said, I do not believe it's ethical to date multiple people if the people involved are either not sure about it or believe that you are leading them in a different direction. But if everything is fine and agreed and cool and you know that they're all right with it and you know that they're not going to be bothered about it, I still believe that having some distance is helpful. If you believe that this podcast has helped you, then please consider buying me a coffee. The link to do so is in the description.